Howdy ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Here we are. Another campaign, another day, another book. So the energy is crackling around here, and I'm excited. So for those of you that came out to watch or hang out, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming and supporting. We're going to launch live in about 12 minutes. Will Pleydon is going to be a guest, but he's technically working his day job. So as soon as he gets a break, he's going to come on in. So I'm kind of going solo right now, which is unusual for a live launch party for me. What's up, Raphael? What's going on? So for those of you who know, hey, Charles. For those who you know, I'm Phil Russert. I own Philbo Publishing. It's a very small indie publishing company. I publish a bunch of my own books. We are going to be publishing other people very soon. Contracts have been signed. Things are going on. Some big things possibly in the works. Can't talk about yet. Anyway. As you know, my flagship title is Tragedy, which is doing very well. That is going to return in May, and it's going to return big. We also have The Dynamics, which was successful in January, my prose book, which is successful in December, and art books we've done for Legendary Illustrations. I have 9 successful campaigns. Gerald, what's going on? So thankfully, I'm 9 for 9. Let's be 10 for 10. So tonight we're starting a special project, and it's called Withered. Now, I pride myself on writing, either a trope that that's written differently or something new and fresh, and not that I'm saying I'm better than anybody, but I think I do a pretty good job of that. Again, my credits are that Chuck Dixon, Peter David, and Howard Mackey said the tragedy is written well. They did not read my other books, so they can't comment on those. But if you trust them in my writing, you can come check out my other books. Anyway, so Philbo Publishing has Withered going on tonight. And Withered is, I really think, different than anything you'll hear of. I mean, we talk about time and aging. I mean, look at aging. I'm all gray, right? Well, what if aging wasn't time, this measurement of just being around long enough that your body just naturally decays as you live longer and longer? What if time is actually a malevolent, evil being that captured and imprisoned God in a great war and is slowly, sustaining itself off of life energy from us over the years? We're cattle. And the reason why good things and bad things happen are bad things happen because God's not in charge. Good things happen because sometimes you got to keep the cattle happy to be around long enough to feed off of, right? Because if we realize what's going on or if we're not happy, we're going to end it all. It has nothing to eat. So you have to kind of make your cattle a little happy so you can eat it, right? So, Jorge, what's going on in your hallway? Yeah. By the way, George Medina and Sam Vera, they do a great show, Catch the Craze, that's on YouTube. It's doing the shorts now, which are great, and they're on, other platforms. Great show, great guys, great hosts. You should really check it out, and you should check out their individual books. George does an awesome book, Wonder Duck, and Sam's doing an alien. There's an alien in my toilet, which is funny and family-friendly books. So go check them out. George, feel free to drop links. I know this is my live stream to launch my book, but Charles, do the same. Drop your links. You know me. Gerald, drop any links to whatever you want to do. So anyway, so this thing that shall not be satiated is slowly sustaining itself of our life energies. And when we die, there is no heaven. There is no hell. We're just consumed. It's oblivion. We go to oblivion. And in this book that launched successfully in December, The Devil is in the Details, the very first, it's a book of short stories. And the first short story is, in fact, Withered. I've gotten a lot of great reviews on this book. I'm very proud because I never intended to write a prose book. I just wrote some stuff I was thinking, and here we are. Thank you to editor J.M. DeSantis, by the way, of Darkfire Press. So Withered basically tells the tale of the angels were wiped out. There's only 3 of the 7 archangels left: Raphael, Michael, and Gabriel. And they are recruiting humans just as they're on their deathbed and knighting them to be knights and sparing them from oblivion to help bolster their soldiers, so to speak, their army, because the Great War is coming back. The demons are coming to wipe them out, and the Satan, which he doesn't like to be called Lucifer because that was his angel name, is leading the armies for this malevolent being. But Satan has his own plans. Satan is Satan, and he's always the prince of lies. There's also Baal and other demons involved, and they're going to attack in droves the citadel of where the angels lie, and there's not many left, and they're recruiting. Archangel Michael recruits Joshua. Joshua was 91 years old and ironically dying of lung cancer despite never smoking a day in his life. And that's what the short story is. The comic takes over where Joshua is now an angel and he's acclimating, but he misses his family, his earthly life. And this delves into, Joshua, what he's fighting for, his family, right? Because he doesn't want his wife and his kids and his grandkids to go to oblivion and be food for this thing. He wants them to go to heaven someday, live fruitful lives and go to heaven. So Joshua's fighting for them, where Michael and them are fighting. They've been angels. They were never humans, so they don't understand that with Joshua. They're fighting to save God. And Joshua's like, okay, but if we're not fighting for God's children, his creations, what is the sense? You do not have to believe in religion or be theological in your life system to enjoy this book. It's a sci-fi fantasy horror tale that just uses angels and demons and some of the theological beings that are in, religion. We're also going to be incorporating, this is an ongoing series, Greek, Egyptian, and many other gods, Indian gods. There's going to be other gods that come into this later on. Again, this is an ongoing series. I've already written the first 6 issues, and I have stories that will last a while. There's supernatural elements, there's horror elements, there's fantasy and sci-fi elements, and there's superhero elements. I mean, there's fights, there's angels fighting demons, and it's really cool the way I worked out how I want things, and Will is really portraying it well. Demons come in the form as humans on Earth, and only angels and other supernatural beings can see what they really are, and vice versa. Humans, to the naked eye of the human, they look like just people. And the demons have these screaming souls coming off of them as they look like humans. And then when they change, you'll see what they look like. They look really oof. And they have these burned hand marks on their head because that's Satan's mark as he takes their soul in contract. And I'm not going to get into that because that's a story for later. Joshua, I dub the angel of God. Happy launch day. What's going on, Gary? So there's family, there is spirituality and hope and faith, there's scary demons, there's death, there's violence, there's horror, and there's majesty. And I'm really proud of this. And if we can really launch strong and get this book going and we can continue the series, the second arc, starting with issue 7, goes into the fall of Lucifer, how he becomes the devil. And this is my take on it. So again, if you are a religious person and you read the Bible and you go to church, this is not to insult or be a sacrilege to what you believe in. It's strictly fiction. The same way you watch Supernatural on Channel 11 and they had Archangel Gabriel or Constantine, it's a story in that vein of it's not here to preach religion to you. It's not here to offend you if you have faith, beliefs. It's just a story, sci-fi, fantasy, horror. And I'm really proud of it. I've been told by every book I do, I send the scripts to beta testers, beta readers, to get honest feedback. And I send it to people that are brutal, people that are going to tell me this is shit, or you need to fix this, or this works and this doesn't work, because I don't want to be the idiot on American Idol who can't sing, but because everybody lied to him, he makes a fool of himself. I want it to be right. I want it to be good. I want it to be professional. And I want it to be something that you can pick up and read and say, man, I enjoyed that. I look forward to the next one. Me personally, comics aren't written for me anymore. I'm 50 years old. I know I look 27, right? Anyway, And I was a huge fan of comics since 9 years old. I love the X-Men and and Fantastic Four and Avengers and everything. Hey, Rod, what's going on? Um, but and comics, man, especially originally I think it was Friday, it wasn't Wednesday, but when it was Wednesday, or even just before that, when I'd go to the local Optimo or candy shop and they were on a spinner rack, it was so exciting to grab comics. You got your stack and you couldn't wait to run home and read your comics and just get out of the real world and get to those comics, right? And it was just awesome. Unfortunately, I feel comics reflect too much of today because the writers are putting a lot of their thoughts about social commentary in there. Now, I know that comics always reflected the societal commentary of the day, right? I mean, we had Neil Adams, Speedy was a drug addict in the 80s and stuff. I get it. But I feel it's heavier now. It's a lot more preachy. It's a lot more of a soapbox from the writer than it is just presenting the situation for story's sake. I'm not here to bash. I'm just saying I wanted to write comics like the ones I used to look forward to Wednesdays again. It felt like Christmas every week or my birthday every week to run to the store and get those comic books. You know, that excitement, that crackling energy you felt, that I can't wait to get the comic books this week, and I unfortunately I've kind of lost that with mainstream comics today. Look, I'm older; they're not written for me. I get it, but I mean, Vaughn's saying he's 23 and they're not written for him either. Greg Conauer, Kelso, what's going on? Greg, you're welcome to drop your links, by the way, to anything that you're doing, your live stream, your convention that's coming up. You're welcome to promote it. So I like to write comics and create comics that bring people back to that feeling I had when comics were just electrifying or exciting. Like, it was new, it was fresh, and you looked forward to it, right? And as we get older, we look forward to less things. It becomes routine, responsibility. But if you could get a comic that you read and go, man, this was good. I enjoyed this. I was in this. My head just went right into this book and it stayed there. And there was no world outside. Remember that? I remember reading Daredevil Born Again, and I was invested. There was no outside. I locked up in my room just reading Born Again. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I mean, I'll even go as far as to say in the 90s, I remember I was playing tackle football at Delphi University all day. And in the evening, hey, Ma, in the evening, it was a Saturday, my friend and I went over into Astoria and we went to Comic Book Heaven, which is closed now. And I picked up the first 9 issues of X-Force that Rob Liefeld put out. And at the time, that was like the hottest thing, and I didn't know if I was going to pick it up because I love the New Mutants. I love Bob McLeod in the beginning of New Mutants and everything. And I was like, all right, let me give it a try. And you know what? It was fun. The colors, the art, it was pretty. The action was fun. It was fun superhero stuff. Nothing heavy, It was just fun. There was nothing heavy about it. And I just remember that being one of my fondest memories. I played tackle football all day, ran over to the comic store, hung out, bought some back issues, old issues of X-Men, bought those new X-Force, came home, took a hot shower, had a hot meal, went right into my room and read all 9 issues. And it was nice, Yeah, Daredevil Born Again is a timeless masterpiece. And the new show, the new Daredevil coming out is going to be based on it. Hopefully they do it right. Mike said, and by the way, if you haven't seen the pictures of what Mike did for the action figure for Tragedy, man, you got to talk to Mike if you want an action figure of your character. Amazing work. And he did the diorama. Thank you, Mike. And Mike said, yes, totally same. Was excited to find I was able to write and draw my own characters. Yeah, it's wonderful. So I just want you to know, when I write my books, I write them as someone who's loved them dearly all my life. I had a tough childhood, and superheroes were my livelihood. They saved me. As corny as it sounds, they helped me. They helped me through tough times. They helped me when I didn't feel safe in my own home, when I didn't have friends. They taught me morals. And I feel like comics are really just not recognizable to me right now. And you may love today's comics, and that's good. I'm not saying don't, because I want comics to thrive. I want them to continue. I want them to live. But if you're like me and you're not really jiving, you really might like my books. You should really check them out. They're written without an agenda. There's no soapbox, because I feel if you know what the writer feels about any social commentary, I failed you. I have failed you as a writer if I use my book as a pulpit or a megaphone. I failed you. Whether my opinion is right or wrong, I don't want books to do that. I mean, even if it was things that I agreed with, I don't want them to do that. Just entertain me. Get me away from the real world. The news is depressing as it is. So if you haven't read Tragedy, if you haven't read The Dynamics, they're going to be on this campaign. You can get everything from Philbo Publishing. And I really think you're going to enjoy it. There's something for everybody. There's superhero, there's horror, there's fantasy. And by the way, Diary of Dread is coming along beautifully. 39 Cedar Lane is probably the most beautiful book I've ever had produced. And Alex Sarabia is just killing it. So I'm going to get to the page. Hey, Greg, I know you're a band, man. Sorry. Have fun. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? By the way, Jeff Carbajosa, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He's a colorist. You can always reach out to him if you need colors. Go check out. Look, I know this is my live launch party for my Kickstarter, but I'm always about the community. Anybody who wants to drop links and promote what they're doing in my chat, you are not being rude or offensive. You are not spamming. I'm saying, please do. We're a community that has to thrive, and we have to support each other. The big companies, the big names, they don't care about us. We have to care about each other. Nobody's my competition. You're my brother in arms. Let's do this together. Let's put out great books together, right? Yes, and Gary is doing amazing inks over Alex's pencils on 39 Cedar Lane. I'm telling you, I'm excited about this horror magazine. I'm so excited. Anyway, Philbo's got a lot going on this year, and we need you. I need you. I never refer to anybody as a fan of my work. I don't like that term. I'm a fan of you. You're a supporter. Your support of me is why I get to do the things I love. Without you, I don't do anything. So you're not fans of my work. You're supporters and backers that I am grateful for. And I'm very sincere about that. Yes, and I'm going to be on Greg Con Hour Kelso. That's what he goes by. That's his handle on his show in April. And he's got the YouTube link there. You should go check it out. Look at past episodes, past guests. And he has a convention coming up. So check it out, especially if you're in the area for his convention. Nicholas Gears here. What's going on? Drop links or promote the Relentless Tin Soldier. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to get to the page and we're going to launch. And then I'm going to show you what's going on. I ask you, hang out. I know attention spans are short. I know there's, as I said, that 2 people dropped. That's hilarious. Anyway, I know there's so much out there that if it doesn't grab you in 10 seconds, you're like moving on. I ask you to give it a shot. Come look at the campaign with me. Give it an honest look at. What do you got to lose? All right. So I'm going to launch this bad boy right now. Ready to launch. Yes, sir. Launch project. Now, please don't hesitate to go back it. And we are live. All right. I'm going to play the trailer, which is done by Rob Powers. Yeah, well, it's tough, There's a lot of Kickstarters out there now. And again, I know there's a lot of Kickstarters, there's a lot of competition. I want you to support somebody. If it's not me, pick one and support somebody, please. Indie people work really hard. We do this. It's not a money grab. It's a passion play, as Pete Vasquez likes to say. So let's check this out. This is the trailer done by Rob Powers, just to give you a little idea.
Imagine you're on your deathbed and discovered a horrible reality. Time is not a construct of the human mind, nor is it a measurement, but a malevolent being that slowly feeds off our life essence over decades. You once thought you were going to pass into the warm embrace of God and heaven, just to discover you'll be consumed by that which shall never be satiated. all is not lost. Archangel Michael and his brethren recruit those deemed worthy to serve in God's army against the forces of evil that serve the great beast. God has been imprisoned, and the devil leads the armies of evil to wipe out the angels, as they are the last hope for God and humanity.
All right, so just so you know a little bit about Philbo Publishing, I'm an up-and-coming independent publisher with a wide range of new comic book titles in production. My mission is to really provide new and original storytelling accompanied by talented artists, and I do work with anything from the best Marvel and DC artists I've had covers from to the best indie talent. And that's one thing I take pride in, is that the books do look beautiful. They always do. And we're going to show you. So we understand the need to be entertained and the escapism quality stories can provide. We feel you will not be disappointed in our lineup of comic books and hope you give them a read. As always, Philbo Publishing and its owner, Philip Russert, are grateful for your support. That's the most sincerest thing I can say to you. Hey, Raleigh, thanks for showing up. What's going on? This was a bookmark based on Withered for the prose book that I did by Will Pleydon, who's the illustrator of the book. He painted this. There's that mark of the beast there, you know, the mark of Satan. Here's the little synopsis of Withered, which we've gone over, and that's basically what's said in the trailer. Hey, Len, what's going on? Here's a creative team. That was me 60 pounds ago, but you know what? I'm so damn handsome. There's Will Pleydon. No, that's not Yukon Cornelius. I put this up here because this was really cool. Will Pleydon is pencil and inking the book, and it's being digitally colored. But in this one panel, he painted the creation of Adam, which is the original Michelangelo Sistine Chapel painting. This is not a photograph. This was an actual recreation painted by Will just for this panel. And it was just gorgeous. Alejandro, what's going on? It's amazing. Colorist Andrew Crossley, who's worked with CrossGen, Marvel and DC, IDW, Boom, Disney, etc. He is the colorist on the inside of the book. So this is the book. This is the splash page to open up. That's the Angel Citadel. Sorry, it's low res to go on the Kickstarter page. I know that's kind of blurry to read, but the rest will be fine. It won't be blurry in the comic. It's just blurry because it's low res on the page. So, and this, I wanted to go with Will because I wanted an old style. You remember Joe Kubert when he did Tarzan and like all the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff? I wanted that feel for this. And I think one of my superpowers is I get the right artist for the right book. And I wanted that Edgar Rice Burroughs kind of, feel to the book. And that's what we got. And it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is Archangel Michael and Joshua. He's younger, obviously, than when he was a human, because when he passed, he became younger looking. Yes, Will is a monster. And look at that panel. Digitally colored, but Will paint that in the background. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And you can read some samples here. Look what the colors did, the digital colors. Look at that. I mean, just that light shining through. Beautiful work. This here just totally reminds me of old Joe Kubert, in my opinion. Just amazing stuff. Love you, kiddo. My kitten is here with me. And sorry. And here are the first 6 pages of Withered. And this is actually Archangel Gabriel. He's recruiting this woman, Margaret, before she passes. But once he steps out, there are a bunch of demons waiting for him. And there's a really cool action scene that comes up right after this. I like to do a lot of storytelling, but I don't want to bombard you with so much exposition that you're bored. It's a comic book. We want some adventure. We want some excitement. We want some fun. There's not just like super fights. There's just demonic stuff. There's supernatural stuff. It's just, it has everything. We have original art tiers from all the artists that I have the great pleasure of representing. I would just want to make it clear, if you want one of those, it's not an add-on. It has to be your main pledge, and you can add on the book or otherwise. We have digital tiers of everything I publish. So if you just don't want to add to your physical collection because you run out of room, or if you're international, since we're not paying for international shipping, it's too much, it wouldn't be worth it to you, you can get a PDF. This is the video for the prose book I did that where Withered starts. Do you need to read this short story to enjoy the comic? No. Does it enhance the experience? Yes, it does. So I wouldn't say you have to buy this to start Withered, but it does enhance the experience if you do. I'm going to play this one real quick.
Have you ever had your faith and spirituality shaken? Has life had you questioning how and why bad people exist? Why we slave at jobs we hate, or why bad things happen? Do you look inward at what motivates you to keep moving forward despite the hardships of life? These 7 short tales explore the many possible reasons and motivations in an interesting and fictitious way. You don't need to be religious to enjoy these tales that intend to inspire. We may not have all the answers, but these stories make you think of possibilities many never considered.
So that just gives you a little taste of what this book is. Again, you don't have to buy this book to get the first story, Withered, to read the comic, but it does enhance the experience if you want to do both. And I do markdowns on stuff. We've got sketch covers. If you're an artist and you want to make money, you can buy this and then sell it with your art for a good 60, 80, 600% markup. We have the sketch cover pack, which is discounted. Here is the painted, gouache painted cover by Will Pleydon, the inside illustrator, of Satan before he's actually angry. This is and his demons. This is beautiful. Now, I couldn't decide if I wanted a red or green trade dress, green corner box, so I'm offering both because the green does complement nicely this side and balance it out, but I also felt the green kind of takes your eye off the art. And there's the green. Both are available. These are the studio covers for Withered by Will Pleydon. Beautiful painted. And look at that. Just creepy. Love it. Beautiful. And covers always look better in person. Here is Roy Mercado. He did this digitally. His Withered cover. And here's a watercolor painting by Sammy Bay. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He lives in Egypt. And those are the 3 covers. Now, for those of you who know Tragedy does pretty well. We do like $13,000 campaigns with almost 300 backers. And if you have a show, a convention, or you have your indie comic or your small publishing or your store or you're an artist, I'm offering as a tier, limited to 2, a full page ad in Tragedy, not in Withered, in Tragedy 5, which is going to launch in May, and 2 half-page ads. I have to approve of them first, of course, to make sure the content makes sense, and that way you're not wasting your money. And those are available. And we have got stretch goals. These are comic-size prints. If we get to unlock these, these are illustrated by Will. My designs, Will and I collaborated on the designs actually. This is Satan that's on the cover. I wanted to go an old school classic Peter Niven kind of looking Satan. And that's him when he's angry. And there's Baal. There are the lesser demons. There's Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Raphael, Joshua, and Cherub is in there because they do have a little bit of humor and relief in a way in there. Just so you know, Archangel Michael is the Captain America type, right? He's the stoic, honorable leader that has to make the tough decisions. Archangel Gabriel is kind of full of himself. He's arrogant. He's flamboyant, snarky, but lovable. And Raphael is serious. He's the one that there's no time to joke. We're at war. Joshua is the protagonist, the main protagonist, and he's fighting for his family, and he's still very human. So he uses human language. He curses and stuff, and he's not fully accepting that he's an angel because he just came to this life, and he wants his family. He misses them. He loves them. He loves them. He doesn't want to let them go, and he kind of has to, So he's dealing with that. And in the story, the demons do try to go after his family on Earth to get to him, to break his spirit, etc. So there's a lot that goes on in this book. There's a lot. And I'm really excited about it. As far as add-ons, we've got the Legendary Illustrations art books, which were very successful in the campaign in November. So if you're interested in these art books, and I have some physical stuff I can show you, feel free to pick them up. I have all of them, or you can pick 3, or you can get the one you want. There's a video you can play. And then there's Tragedy, my flagship title. The Ian Churchill cover, the Tyler Kirkham cover, the Mike DeBalfo cover, and the Jose Luis with Alex Sinclair colors and John Livesay inks cover. These are the 4 covers you get if you back the Tragedy campaign. Now, I did the individual issues in case you just need one of them, and I did them as a pack of 4 if you'd like to catch up, because Tragedy number 5 is coming out in May. I put the videos up to the first 4 campaigns so you can get an idea what Tragedy is about. Then there's the Dynamics, which launched successfully in January. This is a family-friendly, all-ages superhero book that I think you'll enjoy, in the vein of The Incredibles, but written differently, different story. And there's the video there. And then you can make any cover a virgin, you can make any cover a foil, or you can make it a foil virgin. And then there's some art samples. That's Will Pleydon, because they're original art tiers. If you want to commission them for original art, this is Kenny Calderon, Ricardo Silva, Rob Powers. Rob doesn't just do digitally. He can do traditional art if you'd like. Rod Rodolfo, Carlos Ramos, Mauro Zapata. And again, some of them, and Kevin Stewart. Look at that, it's beautiful. Kevin Stewart. This was done digitally, but he can do traditional art. And they all have, most of them have original art commissions available, but some of them have art books available. So there's so much here. And just real quick to go over the rewards. Thank you to the 4 backers so far. I really appreciate you. We hope to get this number up. Please feel free to support. So you could just pledge. If you don't want it, you just want to support, you can put any number in here. It could be $1, it could be $5, it could be $100, it could be whatever you want it to be. We've got the Withered PDF. We've got the Dynamics PDF. We've got Tragedy's individual issues PDF, if you just want to pick up a PDF of any one of those. We've got The Devil's in the Details, the short story book, and it's the ebook if you want that digitally. We've got Withered issue 1 physical, the different covers. We've got The Devil's in the Details prose book. Now, it's a $12 book, but I discounted it because I'm also including the PDF of Withered issue 1. So if you just buy the prose book physically, you can get the PDF of the comic book for Withered to continue the story at a discounted price. And then we've got Sammy's cover. We've got the physical copy of Dynamics 1. Again, the green version of Withered 1. We've got the Carlos Ramos art book. We've got the digital PDFs for all 4 of Tragedy, if you want the pack at a discounted rate instead of buying the 3. Actually, no, it's the same. Oops, sorry. I screwed up on that. All right. The physical Ian Churchill, the physical Kirkham, and the physical DeBalfo, and the physical Jose Luis. Those are 30-page books, no ads, for Tragedy. The Kenny Calderon, Will Pleydon, Ricardo Silva, Rod Rodolfo, and Rob Powers, and Bill Lutz art books. You can do an all-in Philbo PDF, digital PDF. You can get every PDF, including the ebook of the prose book, for $40. So you can get everything I've published as far as storytelling for $40. The blank sketch cover pack. It's a $10 sketch cover, but if you buy the pack of 5, I knock $2 off each. You get for $40. Then there's the pick 3 art books. Any of these 7, you could pick the 3 that you want. You can look at the video. If you really want to see what's inside, let me know and I'll show it to you. I can always show it to you after. The tragedy chapters 1 through 4 bundle. They're $25 books, but I knocked $5 off if you buy the 4. Again, just in time, and you get the PDFs just in time for May. By the way, if you buy the tragedy bundle 1 through 4, I'm still giving you the PDF to Withered. Okay, just so you know. You get the Legendary Art Books bundle. You get all 7 of them. And if you want an original art commission by Will, Kevin, Rod, Ricardo, Kenny, Carlos, or Mato, it's $225, but you're going to get an 11x17 full figure with full background inked. So believe it or not, $225 is a steal for that. We can't do your creator-owned IP, but we can do fan art because we can't have you flipping and using it as a cover. That's a totally different price range. It's a different situation. The half-page ad is $250. But just so you know, it would circulate to about 300 people there plus. So it might be worth it to you because the money you spend on a Facebook ad, you really don't know who you're getting to, and this would be to your audience. And it's a grand slam. You get everything for $340. You get the PDF, you get the physical Withered, physical Dynamics, physical Tragedies 1 through 4, the physical Devils and Details prose book, and all 7 art books. You also get the digital PDF of everything. That means the art books, you can get the digital PDFs, you can print them up, and you can make them posters on your wall. You can do whatever you like just for $340. It's major discount. Okay? And then $500 gets you the full page ad in Tragedy. Not Withered, in Tragedy. You're going to get the ad in Tragedy. All right? So that might be worth it to you if you have a new convention coming out later in the summer, or if you are an artist trying to get out there, or if you have your own books that you're going to put out a Kickstarter maybe late summer. This would be a direct market approach to getting to people that will absolutely see it, and they're going to be your demographic. All right. And that's what we have to offer on the campaign. And if you're new to Kickstarter and you don't know how to use it, or you're confused, or you're overwhelmed, I am very approachable and easy to reach out to. Just reach out to me and I'll help walk you through it. Okay. But if you could support, that would be great, because we really want to continue to bring you quality stuff. And if you like Supernatural from TV, or if you like Legion, the movie Legion, things like that. If you like good versus evil in its purest forms, if you like stories that inspire and give you hope and faith, this book's for you. If you like horror elements, if you like sci-fi and fantasy, it's all there. It's all in there. And like I said, this is not just linear where it's the God and the devil. There's so much more to it, and there will be other gods that are brought in eventually. Greek gods, Egyptian gods, Indian gods, Japanese gods, Chinese gods. They're all going to be, because as the war is growing, the devil is trying to bolster up his army, and so are the angels, and they're reaching out to other theologies, to try to get allies. So this is a large scale thing, and I have more intimate stories as well, dealing with humans and possession and other monsters that are supernatural in nature. So this is really up your alley if you love that stuff. And again, there's also just a superhero element. If you enjoy superheroes and you enjoy action and adventure, this has all of that. It has all of that. And I'm trying to share this out to more. Thank you to the 4 people that shared this out. Ricardo was one of them. I really appreciate you guys doing that. Please continue to share it out. Let everybody know about it. We need a strong launch, guys. And we need to, look, I hate to say this, but financial backing is what helps us pay for these books to continue to put them out. and without that, we can't keep putting them out. So we need you. We need you to put your faith in us. Trust us. Trust me. Okay? I'm not going to give you garbage books. They're written well, they're illustrated beautifully, and you can see that for yourself. And you've spent more risking on other stuff than you will on my stuff. And, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but maybe you could forego that Happy Meal or that cup of that Starbucks coffee this week, or something to try to just give it a shot. I think you'll find something on this campaign that you'll enjoy. I really do. I'm willing to bet my reputation on it because I'm putting it out there, right? So I know a lot of creators think that their book is the best thing, since sliced bread. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm a great writer. I'm not saying I'm a bad writer. I'm saying, why don't you find out? And you tell me, back the book, and you tell me if it's worth it or not. And if it's not, you got toilet paper for a week. Just make sure it's not wet, or you'll have angels tattooed on your butt. So give it a shot. There's no harm in giving it a shot. You've taken bigger chances on more expensive things, right? So that's my spiel, and I'm going to stick to it. Anybody have any questions about the book or anything you want to say? Any comments? Feel free to speak up as I share this out in like 38 groups. Any comics? Yes. Oh, just in time. Look who is here. It is the great Pleydon.
How are we doing? Are we good?
What's up, balls? What's up, balls?
Just pausing in the day to chime in and see how everything's traveling.
It's a slow start, but you know what? We're gonna keep plugging along.
That's good to hear.
How are you? We went over your art and we were showing everything.
Okay, that's good. I'm doing well. It's just busy. I mean, we're launching this very intricate, detailed book that has an epic storyline. So there's lots to it, and it's very exciting.
So, I know you have a short amount of time. I mean,
Yeah.
you read the scripts. I approached you and said, "Hey, do you want to do this book?" What were your thoughts when you read the scripts before accepting the job?
Well, I think you initially sort of gave me a bit of a premise about what it was about, and that sparked my interest. And I suppose what stood out to me as something that I was really interested in and still am is the idea that the story transcends religiosity. It's not stooped in Catholicism or Buddhism or any one particular realm. That the storyline, I'm not just talking about issue one, but the storyline itself transcends those paradigms and really talks about the idea of peril and humanity and the soul journey and what it means for things to be really at stake. Like really, things could go either way in the story, and it would be the end of a lot. Like you're not reading a story where the characters are invulnerable, where 2 issues later,
No one's safe.
Right, there's 2 issues later, you're still going to see Superman. So you're reading a storyline, I suppose, where anything could happen, and that level of peril is engaging because you get invested in who they are, and the characters, I think, are developed to the point where you're interested in how each one of them are different and what their stakes are in the game
And their motivations.
Right, what chips they have on the table. What are they going to lose? What are they going to gain? And I suppose that makes for that interesting tale, and and that includes the villains as well. And I think when you have those things all in perspective for your narrative that goes over it, it makes for the storyline to be quite rich.
Yeah, Charles is stealing my line. He says, "Support or I'll come toilet paper your house." So Charles said, "Love the art by Will. It's perfect for this book." He was the first
Thanks,
person
John.
I thought of. First person I thought of. Sam said, "Hey Will, hello my friend. I don't know what ABD welcome means, but
How
maybe
are
it
you,
meant
Sam?
end welcome."
Hope you're well.
Um, yeah. So with my writing, I've always been fascinated. I'm a nurse by day, and I've always been told I should have been a psych nurse. I've always been interested in psych and emotions and how people function and why they function the way they do. Right? What is the
Yeah,
real meat of why the subconscious is such a powerful underlying thing. So when I write my stories, I always try to write these characters as real and human as possible in the sense that we can all relate to them, right? Because that's what hooks you into stories is relating to characters that have a little bit of you in them, have
right.
a little bit, or even just people you've encountered,
Yeah,
you know, whether it's someone who's guarded and keeps it close to the vest, or someone who's very, hyper emotional and they're extremes on the spectrum, or someone who's calculated or guarded or aggressive. There's all these, and I feel to fill out a story, you have to give a damn about the characters.
yeah,
And the best way to give a damn about a character is to relate to them. And how do we relate? We all get kicked in the teeth every freaking day, and we still get up and we still fight, right?
right. Well, it's a connection to the human experience, isn't it? Like it's love, it's loss, it's family, it's loneliness, it's all of those things that make for great stories, make for great art. Like it's the connection to the human experience that everyone goes through.
Yeah, and I really think that, this story, it has a lot of elements. It has those oh crap moments. It
Mm.
has the moments where you cheer. It has the moments where you're sweating like, "Oh man, is this person going to make it?" And
Yeah,
it has moments that give you faith, like hope. You don't have to have your faith in any specific entity, deity, God, whatever. Just
right.
having hope and faith that you can get through it is all that matters.
Mm.
And I think there are moments in this book of that. And I know if you have to go, you just cut off. I understand where you're at. So,
Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Terry, how are you? I hope you're feeling better. Everybody say well wishes for Terry. I hope she's doing
Indeed.
well.
Yes.
Um, so I'm sorry. So, kind of walk us through, your thoughts when you were storyboarding the script and because there's my interpretation in my mind of how things are going to go, and then there's yours as you start to
Mm.
draw it. Hey, Josh C. Lyman, drop your links and promote yourself. How are you? Go ahead.
So I suppose, I mean, the beginning part was really getting what inspired you, and what visuals you immediately had in your mind before I started my process. And because my job, and we talked about this before, my job is to honor the script, honor your journey as a writer. So if I'm not doing that properly, then it doesn't marry and it doesn't quite work. So the whole idea really is that you've got to start with that conversation to begin with. The next thing is really tapping into what makes for an epic journey, and whether that be, and I know where you're heading with these stories. I mean, you're talking about other cultures, and whether it be Egyptology or where you're dealing with Sumerians or Buddhism
Yeah, I sent
or
you 6 scripts.
yeah, right. Or you're dealing with the Incans or Mayans or whoever it might be, Atlanteans. I think you're always going to come up with a different aesthetic according to the culture. So, I mean, where we started, it was for me, it was based upon that very romanticized idea of what Baroque and Renaissance art really depicted for these characters. I mean, that was probably one of the first visuals we saw, besides iconic art with a K in Russia. So our first, mosaic. So our first visuals were things like the Sistine Chapel, like Raphael and David, and those ideas of what those characters may have looked like back then, or what inspired them to paint them to look like that. So that's what I leaned to begin with. So developing the visuals had a lot of that aesthetic in mind, So and that's when we did the concept art. as for the demons and the lesser demons and the lieutenants and sergeants of those armies, it had more to do with, I suppose, not only a classic aesthetic for Lucifer, but what the horrific flip side of that would be for when he's enraged. So
Right.
I wanted it to be such a clear contrast between something like the enraged Lucifer and the beauty of where they are residing, even if they're in a fortress. So it had to do with that, I suppose, as a beginning visual in my mind, and that culture. And I suppose my relationship with it being an artist that's been classically trained. So, you know, when I'm looking at the creation of Adam, or if I'm looking at those sculptures as they walk past them through the hallways of the cherubs, or you know, the ornate carvings, I mean, you lend yourself to what you know some of those beautiful chapels in Italy look like, or
Right.
you know, or Rome, or even Greece, and you see some of these beautiful ornate carvings just in the street. You know, like, I mean, I wish we had that kind of culture out here, but you know, like that idea of that and that history and that beautiful artwork. I mean, that they live amongst it, and I suppose that's the kind of feeling I wanted when our characters are strolling through the hallways, where normally you may not pay attention to where they're walking past. I wanted it to be them casually walking past something that we would go, oh my God, like that's the creation of Adam behind them, or is that the original? And the copy is on Earth, you know? So I kind of wanted those questions to sort of pop up. I don't know if
And
that
you,
conveyed that way, but
yeah, and that's
that's
why you were the right person for this job. I mean, and just looking like we talked before about how you painted this. This is not a picture. This wasn't photoshopped. This is a recreation that you painted of the original creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo. And even though the book is being digitally colored, you decided, and it was your idea, not mine, to actually paint this one panel. And I think it's beautiful and it's unique and it captures everything that you just said. And fantastic work.
Thank you. I think it was kind of a flip side to the Neil Adams stuff in the 70s, where he'd have a photo image in the background of like a chapel behind Batman. And so I thought, well, you know, let's do the painting. Let's do it as a painting. And you like the idea. And I thought, well, let's actually, you know, do it on the physical page. So it's not been Photoshop placed in, even if I
Right.
painted it, it's actually on the original art. So that sequential page is in black and white, but that one image is actually painted on the Bristol behind the
Yeah,
black
I
and white.
can't wait to get
One,
those
one
pages.
piece. So if you put it on the wall, it's actually one piece of art. You know, nothing sort of cut and paste.
And then, like I said, I was saying before, I look at this specific panel and I just think of the Edgar Rice Burroughs illustrations, you know, the Tarzans and all that. Even, you know, Kubert on Tarzan and Conan and all those old, and it was just the exact aesthetic and style that I wanted. And that's how I knew you were the right man for the job. Didn't know if you were going to take the job, but, you know, because you have like 55 things going on right now.
Yeah. Well, you
And
know that I love that stuff. I mean, I'm soaked in that kind of 40s and 50s aesthetic when I draw and paint anyway. Like, I mean, nothing pleases me more than to put Rear Window on, or Notorious, or some other Hitchcock movie in the background while I'm painting a drawing, and that's because I love that era of Hollywood. But I felt like the aesthetic kind of lent towards that, you know, rather than the 80s quiffed hair. Although
right.
you see a character later on with a bit of that, don't we? So in the ambulance. But for those characters that we saw there, we get more of a traditional look.
By the way, just look at the detail on these feathers, and the colorist did an amazing job over your lines. That really just look at how textured it is. It's just beautiful. Look at those wings.
Oh, look, I was wrapped in the colors. I mean, you never know. I've never had my work colored before. Usually, I've always done black and white comics.
Right.
So it was really interesting to see. And like, besides the one I painted, but it's really interesting to see myself digitally painted by someone. You never know how it's going to be interpreted, but he did a fantastic job and made some really great, like that page following, like
Yeah, I'm
some
going to get to that.
choices of like the spotlight coming down on the couple walking through the marbled room, you know. So I think really did massive gains. And that's what you want a colorist for, is to add that extra blend of emotion or temperature in the room.
Well, just this panel alone, watching this woman fade, very powerful, beautiful stuff. I love the incorporation of, the flat line. Real quick, John Dexter said hello. I'm going to talk about John Dexter at the end, because I'm actually going to be next week launching his book on Tuesday with him. So we'll talk about that more. That's Dime Store Detective #2. Joe Ryan, he said, hey, Phil and Will. Joe Ryan. In a world with Joe Ryan. Which brings up Kenny Shazam Calderon, Kevin Stewart, hot damn. Josh said it looks great. Josh is a really talented artist. You should check him out as well. He put his link up above. The art of I just flipped. Art of Josh Lyman, really cool guy. I got to meet him last year at Terrificon. Very talented. So I like the idea of mankind's view of expression stemming from the expanded heavenly origins, yet both influenced by one another. And that first page is gorgeous composition and form, captures your attention. Yeah, man, Will's a beast. He's a wildebeest.
I'm a wildebeest.
Wildebeest. There you go. John Dexter just said hi, Phil, again. Anyway, so this is what you're looking at, and then you. Oh, by the way, Will painted this cover. The back has a different image. Unfortunately, I forgot to upload a new one. The back. This is a painted cover by Will on the book, and I'm going to show you the physicals here in a minute. And then we got stretch goals, sketch covers, and here's Will's cover. Now, I like the red one better, although I understand liking the green. Will liked the green better. I did a consensus. There was a slight edge to green. I decided to put both. For me, I think the demon is seen clearly. The devil. I think the red looks great, and because it blends in with the art, so my eye's not taken away from the art. I felt the green was a nice balance of color with this, but it takes my eye away from the art because I'm looking at the green color. So I wanted to do both. That way you have the choice. There's no harm in doing both. And then, of course, there's Roy, and there's Sammy Bay, who did watercolor. He did digital. There's just the work and the time put into this. This is a gouache painting, guys. This is a freaking painting. Just for now, and Will came up with the idea of the burned hand mark on the head, which sparked me to create a story around it, which is actually an important story, and it adds a whole element to the ongoing series and what Satan's up to. Because Satan is the general in this thing's army, right? He has other plans. He's not looking to be a lackey. He's Satan, for crying out loud. If he wasn't going to be God's lackey, he's not going to be this thing's lackey. So there's that underlying current of deception constantly going on. It's got Game of Thrones kind of a little bit, right? I mean, just with everybody's out to get everybody else. Kenny said, but you're colorblind, Phil. Yes, I am. But I'm not totally colorblind. I do see color. I just can't always differentiate it. But if I'm partially colorblind and my eye keeps going to the green, what is it going to be for somebody who sees things vibrantly? Anyway, and Will has some original art commission tiers on here. You can get original art by Will, and just to show you what Will does, by the way, there's a lot of stuff on this campaign. Hello! These are all Will's illustrations with our concept design that we collaborated on, okay? So that's the first thing as far as what he can do. Then you look at, here's an art sample of pencils, the Incredible Hulk transformation. I mean, that's killer. You could get this inked by him, full figure, 11 by 17 with a background, inked. Same with Kenny and Kevin and Rod and the rest of them. So we've got something for everybody, whether it's original art, whether it's nice covers, or everything that I publish, including, a short story book. I put all the videos up so you guys can see what everything's about. But listen, if you don't pledge, if you don't come out, we can't unlock any of this. And these are awesome prints to have. Look at that. I would hope to get to Baal at least. That would be great. But that's up to you guys if you think it's worth it. But I'll tell you this. You can't judge something until you try it. So go find out. Joe Ryan said that Hulk is stellar, Will.
Thanks, Joe.
So, I mean, people might feel you're biased because you're the artist on the book and, and everything, but what made you take the job?
Well, I think just what we talked about. I think it's the I like the idea. Look, I suppose I have not done that style or genre of work before. I've done a lot of horror, and I've done a little bit of superhero stuff. But I think the reality is, I wanted to try something a bit more epic like that. And I think that story has lent itself to that era. I mean, I don't work for any massive companies. I'm not sort of stabled in any massive companies like that.
Hey,
So
you work for Philbo. That's a massive company.
But what I'm saying is, I get to pick and choose the projects I want to work on. So I'm not sort of being handed something by an editor in chief saying you have to do this. So anything I work on, I'm invested in. So otherwise, you don't take on sequential art if you don't care about it, because otherwise it's torturous. Because it is a lot of work. So I liked the epic storyline of it. I like the directions that it's going, and how expansive it is. And I think that's, to me, I like that challenge. And I like challenges where it attacks me in areas where I'm not that confident in. Like, I can draw vehicles, but do I like it? It's tough, so it's good to challenge yourself on that. Do I like drawing architecture? It's tough, but I like challenging myself on that. So when I have those areas that make me become more, I suppose, proficient in those areas, and I use muscles I haven't used before, then that works for both me and the artwork. So that's why I took the job.
By the way, look at what Kenny wrote. One man, one desire. Joe Ryan.
Joe Ryan.
That's an inside joke. If you go to our live streams that we do every Friday at 7 p.m., myself, Will, and Kenny, you'll understand the jokes. You could join in. Joe Ryan, our buddy, we joke around about him being that action star that, like, you see him walk in slow motion away with the big explosion behind him and stuff. And we're doing that old, TV announcer in a world where blah blah blah. So we just have fun with it.
The VHS narrator.
Yeah.
And we also we started the actual cover for Withered in the live stream as well. So you can go back, and if you're interested in process, you can go back and watch that, like, share, notify, all that stuff, all that fun stuff.
Now, just to show you this, again, painted by Will and dressed by Rob Howard. This is The Devil's in the Details, where Withered starts. This is the book. Okay, it's an 86-page, 7 short stories. It's a very quick, easy read. If you're a toilet bowl reader like me, you're sitting on a toilet, legs going numb because you're reading, it's perfect. Withered starts in there. Reviews have been good of this book. I was worried because I've never written prose before, and I didn't know what to expect. And you always think with theology, is it going to offend one side or the other? Like, the atheist is going to be pissed off, you're preaching to me, which you're not.
Yeah.
And then the people that are religious or faith, they're going to be like, you're being sacrilegious. So it's kind of tough, you're stuck in the middle. So, but I'm getting good reviews on this. So this is available on the campaign, and again, that's Will's art. Here's Will's art book. It's available on the campaign. Look at that. These are paintings, just so you know. Will, first and foremost, his love is painting. I mean, look at that. By the way, this original art piece, right now, Clan McDonald has it for sale. You can buy it. Clan McDonald's sale, I think, ends Friday. These are legendary portraits.
I think
they sold.
There's a couple left remaining.
Yeah,
well, isn't it?
But we sold those. And this is his pencil and ink, though. I mean, look at that. That's just insane. So this art book is available on the campaign, and he's done everything from pencil to ink to paintings in it. That Hulk, you like that Hulk? Right here. And if you buy it, you get the digital PDF, which you can print it out. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's just freaking crazy, man. You're a beast. Will the Beast. That's your new name, Will the Beast. You like Star Wars? Look at that. Paintings, gouache paintings, Dengar and Greedo. I mean, we've got this Hulk is still available, the original painting. It's on Clan McDonald's sale right now. This Conan is still available. It's right now being sold by Clan McDonald. We're in partnership with them. This is the beginning of the book. Look at this Rogues Gallery noir style of Batman. I mean, this is there along with Kenny Calderon's and everybody else's book. Just to give you a little taste of, we got Ricardo Silva's book. Ricardo's Brazilian, so of course there's going to be pretty women because that's their forte. Speaking of pretty women, hey kitten, how are you? Fair enough. Anyway, some sequentials for Witchblade. They were samples.
Dad, yesterday at my house. Okay.
And so these are samples of what you see from there. And Rod is with us. So we're going to, oh, you know what? I sold out of Rod's book. I don't have it here. We sold out of Rod's book. So, and then there's the tragedy. So we've got issue 1, the Ian Churchill cover. These are 30-page books. No ads. Tyler Kirkham.
Great cover.
Mike DeBalfo. I mean, these are big names in the industry, guys. And Jose Luis, who's on DC all the time, and Alex Sinclair, Jim Lee's colorist, and John Livesay does a lot of DC work and the inks. So you can buy those.
I got to say though, Phil. I mean, they're big names, but I still love Kenny's one with the sword in the ground and the ballerina slippers.
Oh, that's the manga one that's coming out.
Yeah, I still love that.
That manga is going to be attached to back trade paperback.
That's one of the best tragedy covers I think I've seen. Nice and simple, clean, has that real Japanese feel.
Oh yeah. Angel said, "Can I get Kenny Calderon to hold my hand for a day if I get his book?" You have to work that out with him because I don't get any commission off of holding your hand.
Can we get a tear on that one?
Yeah. If they have an issue, hand them a tissue. Oh, jeez. Angel said, whoa, what am I, chopped liver? Oh, yeah, because Angel has done 2 covers for me that were really great, too, digital covers. They look like movie trailers, movie posters, actually.
Maybe I haven't seen that one. I just remember Kenny's one because he showed it on one of the live streams.
He said he got 2 hands. I can have the other. Well, thank you, sir. I think. Anyway.
Maybe.
Oh, boy. You going to bed? Mwah! Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. I love you. You know, this would sound like a corny pitch, but I mean this very sincerely. One of the reasons why I want to succeed is because I don't want to tell my kids how to live their life and how to achieve their dreams. I want to show them. And I need to do this so that my kids can grow up and know that if you embrace life and you work hard and you stay strong and you persevere through the tough times, you can have the life you want. And it's very important to me to show that to them. That's the number 1 reason I want to succeed. The number 2 is because I'd like my wife to stop working and have a time with my family and do what I love to do. But I want to show them that you can do this. Don't be afraid. Work hard. Take risks. Persevere. And that's why I want to succeed. And I want to bring as many people with me as possible if they don't succeed first. So please help us succeed. Please support us. If it's not a project you're interested in, you can still donate a few bucks, or you could get something else that's on their art books, one of the other books I publish, or you can just share it out and let everybody know. I will.
Yeah, sharing is definitely one of the biggest gifts you can give a creator. Is just getting it out there, and especially when we're fighting so many different algorithms. Sharing is one of the best things.
I agree. Angel said it. Pretty much why I don't quit. I need my girls to say that if they dream, they can achieve it too.
There you go.
Vaughn, Phil, I'm going to get you on my show at some point. Let's make this happen. I'd love to do that, Vaughn. Thank you. By the way, I want to let you know, I did a writers contest because I do believe in supporting the community, and Vaughn Coleman won. So did Kevin Stewart. Actually, I was supposed to have one winner, but I liked both their story ideas. So they submitted scripts. I liked them, and they're coming in. They're going to be 10-page stories attached to the tragedy trade paperback. And Ricardo Silva is illustrating Vaughn's book, and it's going to look beautiful. So, look, I'm looking forward to that. Vaughn wrote a solid script, an interesting story, and I won't give the details because that's for Vaughn to do. But keep an eye out on that. Vaughn is going to be published through Philbo Publishing, at least for this short story. If not going forward, that's something to discuss another day. But we're excited about that. We've been working with Vaughn on character designs. He's really easy to work with. He's a really nice guy. He's a young guy with a passion for comics. So I'm looking forward to that. And Kevin Stewart, of course, illustrated his own book, Apollo, which I thought was going to be a typical Superman archetype story, and it's not. It was really it was very good. It was really well written. It's interesting. It's different. And I'm excited about that too. So, yeah, we're branching out and we're doing other things. So, Will, I know you got to get going.
I do. I've got a class in a minute. Sorry.
All right. Thank you for popping in, man. I appreciate everything you're doing. I look forward to more pages, and have a great day.
Yep, you too. Best of luck with everything. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Later. Sorry, Will was he's at school. He's a teacher. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, but we need a strong start. We need a strong start. So please don't hesitate. Give it a shot. Man, I don't know how you writers do it. I barely speak English, let alone write it. Well, guys, back it, please. It's a $15 book. You won't be disappointed. It's beautiful art. Again, even if you don't back Withered, there's tragedy. And if Peter David, Howard Mackey, and Chuck Dixon can like tragedy and say it's well written, there's no reason why you shouldn't give it a try. There's the dynamics. If you like family superheroes in the vein of the Incredibles, but written differently and different superpowers and a different humor, give it a shot. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? All right. So please come out, pledge. They don't collect your money for a month. This is a 30-day campaign. You're not going to have the money taken out of your account until the campaign's over. So there's no reason why you have to wait for payday unless you feel you're not going to make $15, in which I'd say find another job. And again, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but I am going to advise you a smart way to spend your money is on the entertainment that Philbo Publishing provides, because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and I try to be as professional as possible. And I want to bring you the magic of comic books that I enjoyed through most of my life that I feel is missing today. If you want to be entertained with good stories and characters you can root for. I mean, don't we remember the days where we were watching Rocky and we cheered for him? The audience literally got up and cheered and clapped, and we were into it. We were emotionally invested in it. We were rooting for him. There were people yelling at the screen, get up, I'm corny like that. I miss all that stuff. I miss when society rooted for the little guy, rooted for the underdog, and wanted to see the good people win. I miss that. I feel like it's lacking, and I do a lot of writing that does that. It brings you back to the old Indiana Jones stories that you felt, Back to the Future or Rocky, where you were inspired, where you were excited, where you looked for, come on, you can do it. We've lost that emotion through stories, especially since they're all dark and negative now, that the only emotion we seem to feel usually is anger or disgust. It seems like we'd rather watch The Boys and read The Boys than The Incredibles now. And there was a time where we really wanted The Incredibles. Now, don't get me wrong, The Boys is really solid. Garth Ennis, great writer, but it's dark, right? Do we want everything to be dark? I have a mixture of everything. Withered is dark, but it has faith inspired, that you can pull through. Tragedy is just a human, relatable human that suffers from self-doubt and moments of strength and moments of victory and moments of defeat, and how we handle that. I mean, every one of us has a day, at least one, maybe if not all seven of the week, where the alarm goes off and we just don't want to get up and face the day. We want to curl back up under the covers and hide. And I get that. I get how powerful those emotions are. And I get that when I write, because I understand that. I understand the human condition. So I write characters that are of the human condition, even if they're angels. So give it a shot. I really think you'll like it. And if anybody in the audience right now has read any of my books, whether it's tragedy or whatever, please share it, tell them, talk about it, create a buzz, let people know it's worth it. We'll sit there and we'll talk about She-Hulk and we'll talk about Mandalorian, all these things, whether we loved it or hated it, and we create this buzz. Those companies don't need that buzz. Guys like I do. I need that. So help. Yeah, by the way, 80s are the best cartoons ever. You know what we did, Rod, last Saturday night? I have the special edition Dungeons and Dragons cartoon where it has the D&D book that you can incorporate the characters into the game. We put that on and I marathoned it with the girls because they saw like parts of it, and I showed it to them. And then we shut off all the lights, sat in front of the fireplace, and I read The Hobbit to them. It was so cool. And then they all fell asleep. All of them, even Stephanie. They fell asleep on the floor on the rug. Well, you were kind of drowsy, and it was great. It was fun. But yes, 80s had the best cartoons. I've been told that tragedy is written like an 80s book, but drawn like a 90s book. I've been told that the dynamics is in the vein of a Pixar movie, and it's enjoyable like that. And Withered, no one's read the comic yet, but the scripts, they're saying it reminds them of like Supernatural and stories like that have interesting characters and so many different plot points and so many different things going on that it's not just this linear thing. So again, there's something for everybody. There's hope, there's faith, there's feeling defeated, there's getting kicked in the teeth. We get kicked in the teeth every day. All of us. We all experience it. We experience defeat and we experience victory. And all we ever want to do is revel in the victory and have people revel with us. Well, these are characters that you can revel with too. Joshua is learning how to be an angel. He doesn't know how to use wings. He doesn't know how to fly. He doesn't know how to sword fight. You're asking a guy who was just a normal human being who died, ironically, of lung cancer when he never smoked a day in his life at 91 to now be this angel warrior. Hey, Bear, you look sleepy. I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. Good night, baby girl.
Good night.
Say good night to everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Get some rest. Okay? By the way, the dynamics is inspired by my kids. This one is a little mini-me. She's a feisty kid. Her name is Little Mighty in the book. Yes, Kevin, 91 is a good run. But when you find out on your deathbed that you're not going to heaven, you're going to be consumed and go to oblivion because you're eaten and devoured by this thing. It's a shock. So it's the book Withered, sweetie. So I'm telling you, have you ever heard a book that had a villain that time was this thing consuming you? It wasn't a measurement. I mean, it's an original concept. You can't deny that. Good night, girls. I love you. All right. And she's not even a teenager yet. She's going to be 11 in April. Anyway, you got to admit it's an original concept, right? I mean, and I just, it can be very frustrating because you feel that it's quality. And I know every creator feels that, but when you're getting feedback from professionals that it's quality, and they're instilling in you that, yes, it's true, it is quality. You feel that if it just enough people take a chance on it, they'll enjoy it. And it's frustrating when people don't want to take a chance on it for whatever reason. We'll keep spending the money on the stuff that they're putting out that we're not really satisfied with, in the hopes that they'll make our characters what we want them to be again, but we won't take the shot on the new books. So please give them a try. Support Philbo Publishing. And help out. Yeah, I know it takes time, Kevin. I know that, but you got to push. You got to push. By the way, John Carpenter's The Thing is my favorite horror film of all time. It's a remake of The Thing, from The Thing from Another World. But yeah, I know it takes time, but it also, you got to push. Anyway, so thanks for your support. Thank you to those 10 backers that came out strong in the start. I hope that you continue. Push like you're fiber deficient. Exactly. So thanks to everybody who is supporting, who's sharing out, who's hanging out with me tonight. Let everybody know. And Philbo Publishing, help us have a great year. I'm telling you, we're worth it. I want to remind you, and I'm going to show you quick. Sorry, bear with me, guys and gals. Okay. So John Dexter is launching his issue 2 of Dime Store Detective with the issue 1 catch-up. And he's launching next Tuesday, which is the 7th, March 7th. If you go, we'll drop the link in here. If you go and you can please click to be notified, try to get him to 100 followers. It's a supernatural detective story. It's kind of like True Detective meets Supernatural, I guess. What is it? Moonshiner's Murder and a Supernatural Force in this 28-page comic thriller. I have the first issue. I read it. It's well written. It's good. He also does Alpha Dogs, which I really enjoy. So John is another struggling independent trying to get out there to enough backers. So please go check this out. Click to be notified. And come hang out with us Tuesday night, 8 p.m. this Tuesday, 8 p.m. For his launch party. All right. John Dexter, Dime Store Detective number 2 with a number 1 catch-up tier. Sweet. Candy nuts. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Go enjoy The Mandalorian or whatever you're going to watch. I appreciate you. I appreciate the loyal supporters that have come out strong for us. New manga pages in the drop, Phil, and Silverhawks is complete. Oh, sweet. Kenny Calderon finished the Silverhawks piece. I will be posting and showing it to you. It will be for sale. And as you know, Kenny Calderon is doing my manga version of Tragedy, which will be on the back of the trade paperback coming in July. And those pages are looking killer, as his cover is. So go check that out. Please support Legendary Illustrations, where we can do everything for you. We have writers, editors, pencilers, inkers, colorists. We have people that can do your logo design, corner box design, trade dress, format your book for print. We have everything. I can even fulfill your campaign. In April, I'm doing a campaign for Alpaca Studios. It is not a Philbo Publishing campaign. I'm doing it for Alpaca Studios. They're in South America, and I'm going to be handling the fulfillment and everything. So we do fulfillment too. We do everything. We'll market for you, etc. So reach out to me if you're interested or need any of that. Okay, we're easy to work with. We're affordable, and we meet deadlines. Most important thing is we meet deadlines. All right. Having said that, here's Zombie Nips. Yeah. That's a long story. Having said that, this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, come hang out with Kenny Calderon, myself, and Will Pleydon as they draw live, and we hang out and chat and laugh and joke, and we really just act goofy. And we have a lot of fun. You can draw live with us, and we show your artwork during the show. And we, of course, always tell you, come join the chat because you can promote yourself in the chat. Every live stream I do, I don't care what the content is. You are welcome to put up your tags, your posts, your artwork, your links, whatever you can promote in the chat. It'll allow you to do as long as it's appropriate. No nudity, no porn, no severe violence, nothing inappropriate. As long as it's related to pop culture media, you're welcome to promote it in the chat. So come out Friday night, 7 p.m. and hang out in a world with Joe Ryan. All right. Guys, thanks a lot for coming out and hanging with me. If you haven't pledged yet, please go pledge. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. I'm serious. I mean it. I swear. All right. I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.